Have you ever achieved a savings goal that once felt impossible? Like hitting $10,000 for the first time, only to watch that money disappear faster than you saved it? Maybe you spent it on a car repair, maybe on some furniture, and suddenly you found yourself back at square one, questioning why you even bothered saving in the first place. Or maybe you currently have $10,000 sitting in your account, and you're not entirely sure what you're supposed to do with it, so it just sits there while you try to figure out your next move. Now, let me tell you something that might surprise you. What you do when you reach $10,000 will determine whether you actually build wealth or stay broke for the rest of your life. And most people make the completely wrong decision at this critical moment. My name is John, and for years I've watched people reach their first serious savings milestone, only to mismanage it and completely ruin their financial future. If you worked hard to save $10,000 and you want this to be the beginning of building real wealth, not just a temporary win that disappears, make sure to subscribe to the channel and leave a like if this information helps you. Here's what most people get completely wrong when they reach $10,000. They treat it like they just won the lottery. They've been working hard, making sacrifices, saying no to things they wanted. And finally, they reach this 5-figure milestone, so their brain tells them they deserve to celebrate, to reward themselves, to finally buy that thing they've been wanting for so long. And before they even realize it, they spend that $10,000 on a better car, some home upgrades, a vacation they convinced themselves they earned, and other purchases that felt justified in the moment. 6 months later, they're back to having almost no savings, wondering why building wealth feels so impossible. The harsh truth is this: $10,000 is both a lot of money and almost nothing at the same time. It's a lot because most Americans don't have it. According to various studies, around 40% of Americans can't even cover a $1,000 emergency without going into debt. So having $10,000 already puts you ahead of nearly half the population. You should be proud of that. But at the same time, $10,000 is almost nothing when it comes to real financial security. It's not enough for retirement. It's not enough to buy a house in most markets. If you lose your job, it might barely cover a few months of expenses. $10,000 is not wealth. It is the foundation you build wealth on. And what you do next determines everything. Now let me explain what most people do after reaching $10,000 and why they still stay broke despite hitting this milestone. The money usually sits in their checking account because that's where they accumulated it. They look at their balance, and it feels great to see that 5-figure number, but since it's in the same account, it doesn't feel separate from their spending money. Everything feels mixed together, so as long as they see that higher balance, they start spending a little more than usual. Nothing extreme, just a bit more freely because, after all, they have $10,000 and they feel like they can afford it. Maybe they go out to eat more often. Maybe they buy clothes they've been wanting for a while. Maybe they upgrade their phone even though the current one still works fine. Each purchase seems reasonable on its own. They're not making crazy massive purchases, but these small increases in spending continue over weeks and months, and slowly that $10,000 starts to shrink. $9,000, $8,500, $7,800. They notice it going down, but they tell themselves they'll be more careful next month and build it back up. But they never do, because they've already adapted to a higher level of spending and can't go back. Then a real emergency happens. The car needs a $2,000 repair. Or they need a new laptop for work. Or an unexpected medical issue comes up. And since their savings already dropped to $6,000 to $7,000, that emergency wipes out a huge portion of what's left. Suddenly, they're back to $3,000 to $4,000. They feel like all the effort they put into saving was wasted. Months or even years of discipline disappear in just a few months. This is the cycle that keeps people broke. But people who actually build wealth do something different when they reach $10,000. And it might sound too simple, but this difference changes everything. The moment you reach $10,000, you need to split that money and give each part a different purpose. Not next week, not later, immediately. Because as long as it stays in one account, you will slowly spend it. That's human nature. Here's what you should do. First, take $3,000 to $5,000 and move it into a separate high-yield savings account that you only use for real emergencies. And then forget about it. Wanting to go on vacation is not an emergency. Your car breaking down, losing your job, or facing a medical crisis, that's an emergency. This money must be physically separate from your spending account, because seeing all your money in one place creates a false sense of availability and leads to bad decisions. Then, take the remaining $5,000 to $7,000 and invest it into a Roth IRA or a brokerage account using index funds. Don't pick individual stocks. Don't jump into crypto. Just simple, broad market index funds. And leave it there. Let it grow for years. Think of it like planting a seed that will bear fruit in the future. Investing is not about getting rich quickly. It's about your money growing faster than inflation. $5,000 won't double overnight, but over time, it can grow significantly. The real difference comes from building a system, an automatic system that consistently sends money into savings and investments. One of the biggest mistakes people make is using this money as a down payment for a house, a car, or a business. This often resets you back to zero and increases your risk. Wealthy people do the opposite. They continue building their savings first and only make big purchases when they're financially strong. This way, they grow their assets while protecting themselves at the same time. Taxes also matter. A Roth IRA is one of the best options because your gains grow tax-free. And finally, people are afraid of locking their money away. But the truth is, once you have a proper emergency fund, investing is safe. The real risk is spending your money. Let's be honest. Most people won't do any of this. But if you do, your life will change. This isn't just $10,000. This is the beginning of a system. If you use it correctly, 10 years from now, you'll look back and realize this was the turning point. If you use it wrong, you'll still be trying to save your first $10,000. The choice is yours.